What's up guys, Mike from Job Ready English. First of all, my apologies for the delay in making the next past the interview video. I know that there was some requests for it to be KPMG. Unfortunately, things have just been so busy for us that I've not really had the time. I always like to sit down and get my research together and make sure that the video that I'm putting out is as close to the real thing as possible so you can know what to expect. Also, I've had quite a few requests for providing specifics about case studies or specific answers. The reason why I provide general advice is because that's what's ethical. I don't think it's particularly helpful for you or for the companies that I cover to offer very specific answers. And you know, if you wanted to sit there and have me go through line by line your answer and provide you with feedback, that's what we do at Job Ready English with our clients. So you can always come over, book a call with me and go through the videos together. So today we're going to be dealing with RSM Tenon, who merged with Baker Tilly a little while back. They're the 6th biggest professional services company in the world, and they've really been ramping up hiring. They've got about 3,500 staff in the UK, maybe closing in on 4,000. So they're just, I mean, compared to PwC, they might be a bit smaller. PwC are almost up to 15,000 staff, but they're a big concern. And the one thing that I've noticed that I've had quite a few clients interview for them and also get offers for them, and that always makes me interested in those types of companies because I can see that they're actively hiring international students. So we're going to go through their online video interview. The current format that we're looking at as of, I'd say, you know, sort of a couple of months ago, was they had 5 questions and you get 120 seconds to answer the question and 180 seconds break in between to prepare your answer, which is fab. That's pretty much a standard setup for video interviews these days. We sort of see about maybe 5 to 7 questions. That tends to be the sort of timing breakdown. And as a suggestion in terms of how long your written answers should be, I'd say about 150 to 200 words. I had a couple of questions about this in terms of like, how much should I write for my answer? The answer is, if you know you're going to speak for 2 minutes, then just time yourself. So you can just, you know, grab a book, set a timer and just read from the book at normal pace, setting a timer for 60 seconds. If you want to be accurate, I probably do this 2 or 3 times, so then you have a rough idea of words spoken per minute, and then you just double it, right? So you know that you're going to speak for, you do 100 words per minute, so that means that you're going to need to write out maybe about 200 words, or maybe you want to go under or a little bit over. Again, a really key idea about all of this is it's about what you do to practice. So the practice really does make the difference. I've got our brand new interview course coming out, which is called the Interview Success System. It's not actually out and live yet. It's currently going through post-production and is going through the sort of putting it all together. As soon as that's ready, I'm going to be dropping that in the comments. So if you want to know a lot more about kind of how to prepare for interviews, definitely check out that course. It's cheaper than the day out. It's really good value, and I will stop plugging. So let's jump into the questions. So the first, there are 5 questions. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Think about something you recently initiated. How did you ensure the initiative was successful? Is data analysis something you would enjoy doing on a daily basis, and why? Can you identify any skills you'd like to learn to be successful in your role in RSM? Imagine that you received negative feedback about your last piece of work. How would you react? I mean, first blush, looking at this, kind of, we had one client get an offer and another pass the interview earlier on this year. And I thought that the questions were sort of kind of a little bit different from what you'd expect. First of all, there's no why RSM, why you? And there's no real kind of alluding to, you know, why this role, apart from the third question, data analysis. So let's sort of go through and break it down, and we really want to understand the why and the how of every question. So like, why have they asked this and how do I answer it? So first of all, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Seems like a little bit of a weird question, right? So the suggested kind of process I would go through for each of these questions is, you know, first of all, you know, go away and just write out your answers. You know, write down your answers. So you might brainstorm first of all and then sort of flesh it out into like 100 or 200 words or however many. you feel that you can get through in the 2 minutes. And then you start to practice. You start to record yourself on video, get a little bit of a positive feedback loop going, watching yourself back and thinking about what you can improve. And then you're kind of ready to go. And, you know, if you need to, bring somebody else into that equation, get some feedback from an outside source. So what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? What does this reflect? Well, you know, you love what you give time to. And what people enjoy doing in their spare time is a really accurate reflection, potentially, of who they are as a human being. So, you know, do you just sit there and watch TV and play video games when you don't have to be doing anything else? I mean, it's pretty self-involved, right? Now, you know, there's nothing wrong or right about anything that I'm trying to say. I'm always trying to look at it as the perspective of an employer and thinking like, look, do I really want to employ somebody who just watches TV and plays video games? Because there's a different spin on it. You could say I test video games and I like watching documentaries, for example. And there's lots of different things to think about. Do you read? Do you do anything to sort of increase your skills and learn on your own time? Some people will just learn because they're being told to. The teacher said they had to do the homework, so they do the homework and they don't do anything outside. You do any kind of physical activity, for example, by yourself or, you know, with somebody else, like being part of a football team. You know, I have to say a lot of the activities that I do are solo activities, and it reflects the fact that I'm a bit of a loner, right? You know, I own a business, but ultimately I did that because I didn't like to work for anybody else. That's the truth of it. But I also, you know, do stuff like I engage in a fitness club where I can actually meet other people and engage with them. That says that actually I'm interested in team working activities. Do you have anything that's kind of unique? So a lot of my clients are from Asia and they've played these weird and wonderful instruments, or they might love, you know, Tang poetry. They do these particular types of dance. It's just thinking not just what do you do in your spare time, but what have you done or what did you do in the past? We all actually have a really wide range of hobbies. This is a good chance to put in touch with it again and really say, like, this is who I am as a human being. This is what I stand for. I stand for excellence or learning or innovation or creativity. Or, you know, I remember I had a client not that long ago who loved writing poetry and she didn't want to put that into her examples, and I just went, I love that. I love how creative you are. I love what it says about you. I love that you have the confidence to read out your poetry. Don't diminish your hobbies or the things that you enjoy doing. This is an opportunity to really show off and say, look at all these cool things that I can do. The next question is, think about something you recently initiated. How did you ensure that the initiative was successful? So initiating something is starting something, right? It's always good to define the question first of all and think, what does that mean? So why are we saying about having initiative? Why is that important? Well, one thing that is important for any employer is that somebody is what we call a self-starter. And what that means is, you know, in the coming days, weeks and months when you're working for that person, that organisation or that corporation, you'll have a certain amount of tasks to do, right? Someone will sort of give you a piece of paper and say, these are the things that you've got to do. I'm being overly simplistic, I know. Now, what happens when you're done? What happens when you have time to yourself? Or say, for example, you need to find some particular information from a client, but they're being difficult. Are you going to be able to think for yourself, or are you just going to sit there and wait for your manager to turn up and shrug your shoulders and go, I didn't know what to do. I was just waiting for you to turn up so you could tell me what to do. So this question is about thinking, when did I just start something, a really good idea? And we go through that hierarchy. And we think, have I done that at work, for volunteering, in extracurricular activities, or in my academic activities? And the reason why it's in an order is, think to yourself, well, I'm going to work, so I want to give an example of work. I haven't got an example of work. What about volunteering? I haven't done that. You know, last comes academics. Well, really it's personal experience, which we sort of want to shy away from drawing from, and use the STAR format. This is a STAR type question. It's a competency question. It's testing a skill, and people who use their initiative, you know, this is the chance where we kind of sit up and, you know, go and use Google, right? So good. So signs of initiative. Go and look up Google. Innovative thinking, problem solving, entrepreneurism, creativity, leadership, confidence, being quick to learn, proactiveness. That's just 8 skills that I grabbed off of top featured snippet from Target Jobs. The point is, if you don't understand the skill, go and research the skill. This is something that I talk about in the interview success system, sort of the 6 main skills that employers are looking for, and breaking it down in examples. And use that STAR STAR format, that situation, task, action, result. Situation, who, what, why, where. Where were you? What were you doing? Who were you with? The task is the specifics. The action is the majority. If you want to know it in percentages, actions kind of should make up about 70% of your answers. Should be the bulk, and it's really about you. It's about what you're doing. It's not like Susan did this and Chang did that and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, dude, I just want to concentrate on you and what you're doing. And thinking about how did you ensure that the initiative was successful? You know, the point is, when we start something, when we have new ideas, they meet resistance, right? When you first get going, because in your mind, you think to yourself, holy cow, this idea is amazing. You go to somebody else and generally they go, I don't want to do it, or I don't understand it, right? And it's just like, oh, so we have to communicate, we have to explain, and ultimately we need to really understand people's incentives. We need to understand their agenda and what motivates them and why they want to do it. Pick out an example and get that answer together using the STAR format. And if you don't know how to do that, research it online, or we did a whole big section on that in the interview success system. Question 3 is data analysis something you'd enjoy doing on a daily basis, and why? Obviously this question relates pretty strongly to audit, and in a way it really relates to all of the kind of roles that you're going to be doing initially for professional services firm, because it's heavily data driven. I was talking to a student just the other day and she said to me, look, I'm not really numerate and I don't really like data. I love talking to people. Can't I just do a job like that? Probably not. Well, you mean you could if you did sales. The truth is, if you're going out and working in professional services and being a consultant or an auditor or a tax accountant, you are data driven. Even as a consultant, you're not just rocking up to a client and just saying, I think your new branding should be purple because everyone loves purple. The client's going to look at you like you're a moron. They're going to say, based on what data, based on what demographics, based on what are you basing it on? Because this is business. This isn't about kind of just saying that's how I feel. Maybe 10, 20 years down the line when you're world famous for doing something, you can do that. But right now, you need to be able to kind of bring that to the fore. So thinking about data analysis, so this is kind of a strength-based question. Is data analysis something you would enjoy doing on a daily basis, and why? And you might be like, I don't know, or probably not. So obviously the answer is yes. You think, well, how do I analyze data in my daily life? You do it all the time. You're doing it now, watching this video. You would have seen this video and you'd be like, oh, how many people have viewed it? How many likes are there? How many comments are there? Oh, is there a more useful video? Let me go and use Google. Actually, we've become really familiar with using data analysis, and it's kind of we're that sort of hybrid with machines now, right? Walking around with a phone glued to our hand and trying to think what's new and what's relevant. So we're always doing data analysis, but thinking to yourself, how can that be applied in real life? Whether you're writing a report, you wrote your dissertation, you're putting together a presentation and a group study, whatever it is that you're doing, you can then sort of answer in a strength-based answer, and then you could maybe give me an example. Give me an example when you use data analysis to sort of come to a conclusion, or to change somebody's mind, or to make a decision. So question 4, can you identify any skills you would like to learn to be successful in your role at RSM? So when we break down this question, your role in RSM. So first of all, read the job description. Cannot stress this enough. Time and time again, when I am speaking to students, even speaking to clients, I say, okay, so what are you going to do as a data scientist? And they're like, I don't know. I'm going to look at data and stuff. I just think, dude, do you really think somebody's going to employ you if you don't even know what the job is that you're going to be doing? And the thing is, particularly for graduate roles, you might go and look on the company's website and you're just like, it's super salesy. So what's happening is they're basically going like, this is why you should work for us, and we do this and this, and we help these people, and look, a donkey, and all that kind of stuff. But they really don't mention very much about the role. So you're left there going like, I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to apply because I love donkeys. Just take that job role and Google it, right? Just go and look at other companies, go and look at other job descriptions, go and look at the thousands of jobs which are advertised with that exact job role, and you'll find that you're going to find a lot of information. You're going to get the skills, day-to-day roles, and you can easily identify those skills, like what qualification are you going to train towards? What would you be doing day to day? What are the special skills that they're looking for? Is it to do with Excel or the ACA qualification or leadership or conflict resolution? So many different skills, and make a list. Make a list, say, this is the skill, this is why it's important. And do that for the 200 or so words that you need to do. And finally, question 5, so love this. Imagine that you receive negative feedback about your last piece of work. How would you react? I punched him in the face. No, obviously you wouldn't do that, but maybe you would in your mind. You would explode them with your eyes. Okay, moving on. So this is an example of a negative question. You know, someone disagrees with you, someone gives you a piece of negative feedback about your last piece of work. And so the first thing is, again, this is a star-based question. It's a competency question, but there was a little bit of a strength question in there. It's like, how would you react? So we can answer that first, you know. Well, what happens when we get negative feedback? We learn. You know, we sit there and we think, number one, is this true? Because if someone turns around and goes like, this video is awful, it's rubbish, you're talking a load of crap. To be frankly honest, I probably think it's not true, because it's not as if you're doing the exact same job as me, or have the same business as me. And I'm a little bit more interested in what you have to say, like what's their experience for them saying that. And the next thing is, what can I learn? And also, do I want to be like this person? For the purpose of the question, the answer is going to be yes, but let's face it, sometimes we get negative feedback from people and we think, you're a dickhead. I really don't care what you think anyway. I didn't even ask for your opinion. You just gave it because you're desperate for me to listen to you and what you think. That's just a little lesson for life. So thinking about this, first of all, it's like, how would you react? Well, first of all, I would try and learn everything that I could. I would ask questions and I would see how I could improve. And also thinking to myself, not about the feedback itself or getting too caught up in my pride and my ego, like, oh my God, I can't believe I made a mistake. It's a shocking lesson. Everybody makes mistakes every day, tons of them. And anyone who says that they don't make mistakes is just full of shit. You should avoid them, right? We all know that person, like, I'm always right. Just think like, what a douchebag. You just don't want to be around them. It's really nice and comforting when we can sort of welcome our mistakes and our failures and kind of hug them and go, oh, teach me something. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And if you want, provide an example. You know, we've got plenty of examples. I've got plenty of examples when I've received negative feedback. I've had to kind of sit there, and a lot of it is from you guys, from the students and the professionals that I serve through Job Ready English, and them saying like, oh, you did this and I didn't really like it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what would that look like? So for example, you know, whenever I'm putting together new courses, I always have focus groups of students because it's made for them. It's made for you. And I'll say like, oh, did you like it? And they go, nah. I go, okay, what didn't you like about it? And I learn so much because they explain it to me, and let's face it, I'm not a 21-year-old student. I don't see the world the same way as you guys, some of you guys do. So I can really be open to that. I don't take it personally because I think, great, this is an opportunity for me to be better, for me to give a better product, and for me to do better. So I hope that was helpful. Guys, please like, comment and subscribe. Throw down in the comments any questions and what company you want to hear from next. Bye.